natin.
Crack na hindi siya longitudinal, although maaari siya mag-develop into transverse cracks. Na yun yung pinapatanggal namin nung last.
Kasi pag may makita na defect sa project na ongoing, dapat palitan talaga.
Ito na yung result ng pina-replace natin na mga defects sa road slabs. Dito kasi dati merong malaking transverse cracks na tinanggal na nila at pinalitan na nila ng concrete.
The School of Government, through social accountability, is really strengthening the mechanism by which engagement for good governance can really happen. Here is ANSA, and we're saying, hey leaders and public officials, there's no good governance without the citizens. The quality of citizenship will greatly determine your capacity to lead in the quality of leadership towards good governance. And the citizens are not only trying to link with you and talk to you just because of talking. They're asking you, be accountable to us. And that creates for a real democratic process of engagement.
So a textbook scam violates our children's, especially the public school children's right to education. The right amount of textbooks have already been delivered, but in actual practice, two students have to share a textbook. That is an injustice. That's unfair. And therefore, from that standard, it is immoral. And then, go to human rights. Go to justice and fairness. Go to virtues.
There is still that problem of ignorance about ethical standards. But more importantly, is the challenge on how to translate the ethical standards into support systems. So that, and practices, routines, ways and means to make it easier for public servants to adhere to the ethical standards and practice the ethical standards like what? Standards like responsibility, accountability.
Corruption promotes inefficiency. Then, of course, from the virtues framework, corruption weakens or destroys the integrity of those who engage in it. Because who will commit corruption in the open? Right? So you will have to create a second self that commits the corruption and another self that appears good in public.
Parang mas
right?
naintindihan ko, mas na-internalize ko, how can we really, as an individual or as in an office or in a position, be able to help prevent, if not, minimize, if not really totally prevent corruption.
Na-realize namin dito sa klase na bigyan ng boses ang lahat para ilabas yung kanilang saloobin na may maling nangyayari at ito yung naoobserbahan ko at sa tingin ko ganito ito pwedeng i-correct. With the power that you hold, there are responsibilities that come along with it and there are processes to follow and they are there for a reason.
I said you will push, di ba? You will be the one who will drive in terms of depth, ano yung gusto nyong ma-achieve in terms of program and project development experience. And decide as a class on which project management standard to use. Then learn the tools for program and project management.
It is a challenge for me to come up with some programs that will improve the economic condition of our town. I have to look for something or have to do something, innovate on something that will increase the resources that we have to be able to address the different needs of our people. It's also very important for me to come up with some innovations on how to develop plans or projects or programs that will improve the economic condition of our town.
So our flagship program is an academic program. It's a Masters in Public Management program. And the signature program of this Masters is a program that we deliver to local government units. Every Friday and Saturday, I send anywhere from 5 to 6, even 7 professors to different parts of the Philippines, from way as far in the south as Marawi to as far north as San Fernando, La Union. So for me, that's unique. I mean, to have a campus that is the whole country, to have a campus that is not in Manila, but where the front lines of governance problems are.
Kasi kung minsan pumapasok tayo sa gobyerno without even knowing anything, iba kasi napag-aaralan sa school, in the four corners of the classroom. Pero pagpasok natin sa gobyerno, we don't have anything na alam. Ngayon, sabi ko, kagaya ng nasabi ko kanina, na dapat you go back to the basic. There is such thing as ABC, saka 1, 2, 3. And I think this is the best one to start. Mas lalo kong naintindihan kung bakit itong ginagalawan kong gobyerno, ganito ang kanyang inaaksyon. At ano pa ba ang pwede pa niyang gawin para namang mas naaangat ang kalidad ng isang maliit na gobyerno kagaya namin.
The MPM program is primarily a capacity building program for LGUs. As Father Mike would say, kailangan magkaroon ng galing, ang husay ng puso. MPM creates a sanctuary where you can examine your work. Teka, bakit nga ba hindi gumagana itong aking trabaho? I had one mayor that said, ay, nakuhulog ng langit ito sa aming MPM. Sa tagal ko ng mayor, ngayon ko lang nakita na yung problema pala ng eskwelahan, hindi lang pala pwedeng gawa ng school building. Dapat pala alamin mo yung tunay na pangangailangan ng iyong mga paaralan.
Frustrated having to spend so long hours just to have your passport renewed, then you'll be inclined to hire fixers who would abound in such offices. Right? So one of the ways that was solved was when DFA started decentralizing the passport renewal, you could now apply for passports in the regions. And then eventually in the...
Hindi lang kami klase, actual kami dito na nag-aaral ng mga actual cases na eksperyensa ng iba-ibang local government agencies. The professors themselves are noted in the public sectors, both in private and public sectors, wherein they share their experiences in handling a certain problem. Sa klaseng ito, ang mahalaga rito ay yung interaction o ang ibig sabihin, yung mga inputs o mga kaalaman din ng iyong mga kaskwela na halos lahat kami ay galing din sa pamahalaan o mga government officials din.
Marami nagsasabi, ay masama ang politiko. But being in MPM, I start to meet people who genuinely want change.
It does not take one person alone to make a city, a province, or even a country great. It takes a lot of people helping each other hand in hand.
You cannot just have 10 leaders, 1 leader, 10 leaders, 50 leaders, 500 leaders. You need to have them in the tens of thousands. In fact, we have adopted a very ambitious goal of working with 1,000 local governments, with leaders of 1,000 local governments by 2020. I mean, it's a 10-year program. Bakit local governments? Kasi yun yung unit na nandun sa baba, di ba? Bakit 1,000? Because 1,000 local governments is 60% of all our local governments. But for me, my outcome is not that I graduate, like 100 students a year, which we now do, because we do not judge ourselves according to the number of students we graduate. We judge ourselves according to the impacts we have on society.
Caring for people, ethical governance, and effective governance is possible. It actually even raises incomes, and it wins elections. There are some who live this, and who not only live it, but in living it, show that they can be successful mayors, successful businessmen, and also make a difference for our country and for others.